So, I just realized the other day that I've never done a video about Conan the Barbarian, the movie. I did a video about Robert E. Howard and his works of fiction, the violent, brutalist, and somewhat philosophical adventures of Conan the Cimmerian, this intelligent and dangerous character, this man of action and adventure, who I feel compelled to reiterate is not necessarily a good guy, but who is simply the strongest and most capable warrior in that world. Um, but I didn't film a video talking about the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, this legend of fantasy sword and sorcery cinema, because I have some very strong feelings about it. Now, dear viewer, I'm sure you know by now that I'm something of an introspective, I guess you might call me intellectual. I'm no great lover of the sort of barbarian philosophy endorsed by Robert E. Howard himself, nor do I have much of a care for traditional action movies. I like things like Nosferatu and The Lord of the Rings, and I prefer adventures with a little more bite and nuance to them than your Mission Impossibles and your John Wicks. Um, that said, I did enjoy my time with the writing of Robert E. Howard. I was moved, especially by the knowledge that Conan is not often even the main character in a story, and that the Cimmerian has a lot more nuance to him than meets the eye. While he never really second guesses himself per se, he is this bad dude who gets stuff done, and he thinks a lot. He's very capable and is very impressive when he comes up with a plan of action, for instance, which makes most of those stories kind of fun to read. Um, but the movie changes that. It tells a different story. Arnold, God bless him, does not necessarily portray a man with cunning or great intellect. He does not necessarily grow in intelligence, and nor does he love poetry and art and music like the Conan of Howard's writing. Arnold plays an action movie hero, this great warrior and war leader, but no great thinker. Conan in this movie is on a quest for fame and fortune primarily, but also for a little bit of vengeance. His people are slaughtered by the menacing warlord Thulsa Doom, and he is enslaved. He is beaten down and shaped into this Herculean hero out of necessity, as opposed to the more thoughtful and much more morally gray sort of cutthroat ne'er do well killer that was Howard's Conan. Um, Arnold works in his role in this, despite the drastic change in from the source material. This was his first movie. I feel like I need to get that out of the way, and he's not good in he's not good in this. I'm not gonna lie. His delivery is a little wooden, and he has a very hard time showing emotion. The fight choreography, meanwhile, kind of stinks as well, um, and yet it all kind of works. Conan in this is a character of no nuance and all action. He speaks through violence. He speaks through fighting and through looking into people's eyes and through climbing walls and stealing stuff and all action. And he also happens to be a character who stands up in the face of evil in a much more active and heroic way than say Howard's Conan. Um, he believes that no man should live in chains, and he joins forces with a fairly large cast of kooky characters, all of whom that I mean they fail to be the most moving and three-dimensional performances, and yet the monumentous music, the fascinating cinematography, and the simple sort of passion that these otherwise bad actors have for their characters makes this movie interesting, and it draws you in as a result. I find myself enjoying the crazy creative fight scenes, despite the kind of clunky sword fighting and the subpar acting. I find myself invested in these characters, despite, as I said, all the reasons why I should be zoning out. And then what keeps you invested, really? What keeps you there, and wanting to see how it all turns out, are kind of two things, in my opinion. The first is that the dialogue is just incredible. So there are some incredible lines that get uttered. These magical moments when the music picks up and someone says something that's really quite moving and powerful. And the second sort of ties into that, and that is the late great James Earl Jones. I'm going to level with you. This bonkers little action movie does not deserve the Shakespearean performance given by James Earl Jones. Uh, I mean, he is persuasive and he is dangerous in this. He is first a warlord, then a cult leader. He brings all of the fire and the brimstone you could want and washes it down with ice cold malice. His words are collected and cool. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing in this. He is this villainous priest, this dangerous zealot, a master manipulator, and a sorcerer who manages to gather a following capable of threatening the very souls of our heroes. Thulsa Doom sells the movie for me. The way he dresses, the way he talks, the way that this is none other than freaking Darth Vader. It astounds me. He is, I dare say, too good for the movie that he's in. Um, and this is allegedly Arnold's movie. He's the main character, but James Earl Jones makes it good. He is the villain who commands the scene, and even in the end, he has an aura of malice and danger and mystery about him, almost like he knows more than he's letting on. It's terrific, and even if you don't like action movies, well, let's face it, you're probably not going to like this. You're going to be a little bit bored with this one. But you might very well be intrigued by the evil that is Thulsa Doom, and probably be fascinated by his motivations and his actions. I think, honestly, that his speech regarding power of the flesh and its superiority to the riddle of steel, it has a lot to say about even our own society today. It's very cool, I think. So yeah, Conan the Barbarian is not bad, despite despite what you might be led to believe. So yeah, bye.